Did you notice when old patterns or bad habits start to creep in again? Most of the time this happens when you're stressed, and this is not a coincidence, because when you're stressed your body enters survival mode to protect you. But the problem is that in this state you might become disconnected from its natural signals like hunger, satiety, or you might not even be aware of the fact that you're stressed, which can make you vulnerable to emotional eating. Because how are you supposed to stop when you're full if you don't really feel that you're full? Maybe then the signal doesn't come through. So then what often happens is that you grab food instinctively to feel better, for example, after a stressful day, but it's only a quick fix that can lead to long-term problems. So the real issue, it lies deeper in your body, and the nervous system, it's truly the key. So here's something that many people don't know. If your nervous system is dysregulated, it can feel impossible to stop stress eating. But there's also good news. You can always learn to regulate your nervous system, and once you do so, it becomes so much easier to manage stress and also to stop turning to food for comfort. So this is what we call self-regulation, and it's essential to create changes that actually last. Before diving deeper into this, there's also another powerful concept that maybe many people they don't know. It's called co-regulation. And what does this mean? It means that we're able to calm down with the help of others as well. And maybe you realized already that just being around someone who has a quite calm and peaceful energy, it can also help your system to shift out of stress and makes you feel more peaceful and relaxed as well. This is not a coincidence. It's because our nervous systems, they kind of also communicate with each other on a subconscious level. It's super, super interesting. And to give you some example, this kind of form of communication, it can happen via your tone of voice or also facial expressions. We have so many muscles in our face, and also the whole body language. And yeah, maybe you also realize this. For example, when you feel very overwhelmed, that your shoulders collapse and your voice gets more silent, it's harder for you to speak, and your whole face and body, they just shift into a notably different state than, for example, when you feel confident and pumped and empowered and ready to conquer. So here's the important part about this as well, that if you are not regulated yourself, then it becomes quite impossible to calm others down. And this can also be seen, for example, with small children who are not able to regulate themselves. That if they cry and feel overwhelmed, and then the parents, they're in a dysregulated state, and they might start screaming and become very hectic and nervous, then the child might freak out even more. Then, for example, if the parent is calm and regulated and speaks with a very also calm voice, then the child will also probably become more calm. And this is very pronounced in children, but also still something that can be seen in us adults. So it's very important to be aware of your own nervous system state, and with time you will also be able to diagnose other people's nervous system states. And yeah, just remember the oxygen mask rule, that before you run to save others, it's important to put on your own mask first. So this is essentially why self-regulation is so important, especially for professionals like us who are constantly dealing with stressful situations, and also, for example, clients or students who might be stressed and dysregulated as well. Therefore, good to learn to spot in which state they are, how it impacts you, how you can bring yourself back to regulation, and thereby also help them to find regulation. Again, it's this constant interaction that's taking place. And also something to notice that stress, it doesn't just live in our head, let's say. It actually shows up most in our body. So maybe you notice when you're stressed that your muscles, they start to get really tense, and your heart, it beats very quickly. You might also feel like a knot in your stomach or your jaw getting quite tense or even locked. So, for example, that's also why it's important to bring awareness to this, and because your body, it gives you constant feedback and information in which state your nervous system is at this very moment. If you tune into your body and start connecting and listening to it, and if you know what state you're in, then you can also apply the appropriate tools to bring yourself back to regulation. However, if you ignore these signals or you're just super disconnected from them, then it becomes really hard to manage your emotions and eating habits. So it all starts with connecting to your body and its signals in a quiet, slow and mindful way, because we also don't want to overwhelm our system. So how can you start regulating your nervous system and also take control over your emotional eating if that's something you're struggling with? So as I already said, it all starts with small and simple steps. And what I find to be very effective here is so-called bottom-up regulation. And what it means is that we start regulating from the body, where sensations live, but also, for example, mindful breathing and movement, they can be super helpful for our body to relax. And then when our body is calm and relaxed, we also tend to find our mind relaxing as well, like thoughts slowing down. To give you an example, because from my own experience, when you're really stressed, sometimes you might tell yourself, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe. But if your heart is still racing like crazy and you're shaky and sweating, your body doesn't believe it, your system doesn't believe it. It's still stressed and feels like there's a bear running after you. So it's important to make your body feel safe as well, because mind and body, they're interconnected with each other. So if you tried affirmations or journaling in the past, then now you also know maybe why it didn't work. It's only targeting the mind, not the body. Now you found the missing piece. But what can you do with this knowledge? To give you some tools you can start with on your own. 3 tools. The first one for mindful breathing, it's the yoga breath. I will link you a YouTube video above if you want to try this. Or another good tool that I love is to bring awareness to your sensations as they're happening in your body, which we're doing during body scans, or also when we practice yoga nidra. Can also link you one to start with above, as well as the third one, it's mindful movement. So it's especially helpful if you have a lot of activation or mobilization in your body, like if your heart is beating and feel like, you have this, oh my god, I need to run, then movement can be very healing, like yoga, or something simple like going for a walk or swimming. Nature, it's great for regulation as well. Maybe you could even say that the trees, they can also co-regulate you in a way. But yeah, these are just some ideas. But in our program in a home renovation, we teach all of these in more depth and also in a personalized way, and make sure that our students integrate these and are equipped with a toolbox to bring themselves back to regulation. So they can not only help themselves with that, but also those around them, like clients or kids, then through co-regulation, which I just explained. And if you want to learn more about this, I will put the link in the description below, or you can also always let me know in the comments. Happy to help. So yes, if you're tired of feeling overwhelmed and using food as your go-to for stress relief, now is the time to make changes that actually last. And it all starts, as you just learned, by focusing on your nervous system, because once you learn how to calm your body down, everything else, like healthy eating, becomes so much easier. I promise you. I wish someone would have explained this to me earlier, but this is also why I'm now so passionate to pass on this knowledge to you and work with those wonderful women in my program and help them actually implement what they just learned. Because knowledge, if not applied, it's useless, right? So thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. And make sure to like, subscribe, and just let me know in the comments if there's something that you love to learn more about, have more questions, whatever. I always love connecting with you, and yeah, I will share more tips in the future to live a more calm, healthy, and peaceful life. So yeah, you have you have the power to make this change, and I'm always here to help. Remember, the key is not to fight your body, not to work against your body, but with your body, with yourself. So maybe you can already now bring in a little bit more compassion and be a little bit more kind to yourself. So yeah, thank you so much. I'm sending you lots of love and sunshine from Greece, and see you very soon.